I'll put it the way it was described to me, and I'll let you hit me over the head if I'm wrong. Could this be the 10-year-old boy in Steph wanting to prove to himself that Christina will support him?
I don't know what to say to that. When Steph and I first were married, he was unemployed, and had been for 2 years. So I was supporting him. I don't know, maybe he liked it.
I see.
Really, these last 3.5 years have been far too much of a strain for me. It's really out of my comfort zone to actually produce and consume. Because I'm very much aware that I simply cannot succeed in this as a full-time occupation. Obviously, in the absence of interested and, somewhat financially generous listeners, I can't make it work. But much more fundamentally, if Christina doesn't wholeheartedly and fully and enthusiastically support what it is that I'm doing, then I simply won't be able to succeed. And I think that had not occurred within our marriage as yet, until I learned to flip the half Nelson thing. And then last night, she agreed. No. Did you want to mention anything about that? But I mean, I think you're right. I think that there was more in terms of the support. I mean, obviously you and other people have been extraordinarily generous with time and with some donations, and it's been fantastic. But it really came down to, I think, was I going to be doing it with the full support of Christina? She very much believes in what it is that I'm doing, but she's also quite conservative when it comes to, more conservative than I am when it comes to risks, I think. So what we were talking about last night was saying, I invested years of my life and lost significant amounts of income, if you want to look at it that way, to pursue other dreams where I had far less tangible evidence of success, right? Because I never thought, I'll be a babbling head philosopher, and that's, how it's going to work for me, right? Because, of course, no one could predict podcasting and all of this opportunity that we have now. So I said, if I already gave up years of my life and hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to pursue these other dreams and feel free of regret about my status with regards to those dreams, now that I finally tripped over something that really works and has had an enormous amount of success relative to everything else I've tried, why would this not be the one that I pursue? Right? I already pursued all these other things that ran off a cliff. Now I'm in a car with a straight road ahead of me and I got some gas. Why would I not do this, right? So I think that was sort of the approach that I took. I think that I can make it work. Christina and I were talking on Saturday over lunch. I sort of spilled my guts about all of the various ideas that I've had, and I'm going about how to sort of make this work culturally, financially, artistically, spiritually, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, I'm going to lean on the kindness, brilliance, and generosity, not just financial, but I mean generosity in terms of creativity and ideas of the people who've been part of this conversation or who are going to join it in the future to sort of help me along, right? People have lots of technical skills, lots of business skills, lots of ideas and experience so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I think that it can work. We're not going to put on hold our plans for having children because I'm going to give this a shot. Because, man, I mean, if it could work, I mean, just before I let you actually continue with your conversation, I mean, if it could work, my God, how much better could you get it? I mean, you couldn't get a better life for me. Christina's working from home. I'm working from home. We can have lunch every day together. If we have kids, one of us can be home or both of us can be home with those kids. There's going to be income rolling in as she builds her business into something that's more independent of her. I'm going to have income rolling in through Free Domain Radio, which is not going to require me to put in 2 hours of commuting and 8 hours of work a day plus travel or whatever. So for me, like, if we could make it work, I mean, I miss my wife all day, 10 hours away. I spend away from her. It's terrible, right? So if we could make it work so that we could have kids without me having to drive and be away from home and travel and, oh man, I mean, it just doesn't get much better than that. So, I think kids is also partly why, that's partly why. It's partly because of the kids that I want to do it as well. So sorry, that was a long answer, but I hope that makes some sense. I don't really like my job. I don't think they really like me too much. And but I'm trying to sort of be as accommodating as possible because I wouldn't mind another couple of weeks of part-time work to sort of help me finish the business plan, make the transition, have a little bit of extra cash to start with. And so I will hopefully find out this week. So hope that helps. Paychecks are nice, absolutely. Well, as they say, if you can't make a lot of money, marry somebody who does. So I just, again, I apologize to Christina repeatedly. But hey, when we met, I was unemployed, so hadn't worked for 2 years.